When the Lighthouse War began, my family and I were living in a small town in the southeastern part of the continent. Initially, despite the rationing of food and fuel, the war left us alone. However, when the satellites were shot down, chaos ensued. Rather than ending, the war had seemingly splintered into 1,000 disparate conflicts. It was no surprise when our town was swept away by the violence. A group of bandits in search of supplies attacked in force and overwhelmed our local militia. They did manage to buy us time, though, and the majority of the townsfolk, including my family, escaped. We became refugees in search of a safe haven. Initially, we traveled aimlessly, unsure of where to go. One day on our journey, we ran into another group of people searching for safety. They had heard rumors of a castle where all the victims of the war were being welcomed. Whether or not such a place existed didn't matter. We were running low on food and placed our bets on this fairy tale. After a few days of searching, we managed to find the castle. It was surreal. Like our town previously, the castle and its surrounding villages were frozen in a state of serene peace. Friendly soldiers guided us to our temporary homes, a tent city with plenty of food and water. When I closed my eyes that night, I truly believed I had escaped the war. I woke up to the sound of an air raid siren. I left my tent in a dazed state as refugees and soldiers alike were scrambling in every direction. Before I could gather myself, the sound of a fighter jet drew near. Paralyzed in fear, I ducked underneath one of the communal dining tables as the invading jet circled. One by one, he picked off the AA guns, trying to desperately protect us. After silencing our only defenses, the enemy pilot turned his attention to the tents.
Kilimanjaro!
In a single gun run, he destroyed an entire block of our canvas homes. This included the one my family was in. When the attack had begun, I had tried feverishly to get them out of their beds.
Wake up. Wake up.
But they were too distracted. They all had headphones on and were listening to the Ace Combat Assault Horizon soundtrack. At least they died doing what they loved, listening to Shall Defend. After completing its attack, the enemy jet climbed up into the sky and I caught a glimpse at the symbols on its tail. A dog with a gun in its mouth, followed by 3 strikes. It was engaging friendly aircraft that had been scrambled to intercept. For the moment, I had an opportunity to escape and darted for the castle. As I ran, I tried to comprehend why any pilot would purposely strafe innocent people. But as the invader downed 5 friendly jets in quick succession, I came to a realization. This pilot was going for an S ranking.
Unfriggin' believable.
I arrived at the gatehouse along with every other terrified refugee. We were packed into a tight crowd, pushing each other to get to safety. There simply wasn't enough room, though, and with one last explosion, there was no longer any AA gunfire, just the drone of 3 strikes. We stared up into the sky, watching in horror as the jet meandered back and forth. To us, it seemed like it was contemplating whether or not to kill us. It was actually waiting for something.
Deus vult!
Then a Latin chorus cried out from the sky, and an advanced jet with a large gun mounted to it flew towards us from the direction of the sun. In tandem with the sudden music, 3 strikes and this strange new aircraft engaged in one of the most beautiful dogfights to ever behold. Stall maneuvers, head-on jousts, physics-defying movements, we were in awe as they fought. At one point, 3 strikes was hit by a missile, but his jet seemed to be perfectly fine. He took the hit in a non-critical area, someone shouted, and the crowd cheered. It no longer mattered that 3 strikes was the enemy. His flying was too good.
Deus absconditus!
Fell from the advanced craft, missed 3 strikes, and slammed into the front of the crowd. It vaporized about 100 people, and wounded countless others. We didn't care. Like soy jacks, we pointed in the air, mouths agape, as we witnessed the spectacle of the greatest show in the air. So what if some people got turned into pink mist? Finally, 3 Strikes managed to position himself above the advanced jet.
I've got you in my sights. The end is coming.
And with one last missile downed the railgun Latin music enthusiast. Everybody clapped as he flew over us in a final salute. As 3 Strikes disappeared into the sky, all I could think about was how much he deserved that S ranking.